Hello? Is there anyone out there? Is there anyone listening? Welcome. Welcome and welcome back, everyone, to Dear Aliens. I am your host, Molly, and thank you so much for tuning in to find out what makes me want to get beamed up. And let me tell you, there are so many reasons, very especially in my life right now, that would make me want to get beamed up. This week, I'm coming in to talk about one topic, and I have a great would you rather to start us with it. So, both options are 8 hours. So, would you rather have to watch all of the Twilight movies, which is 8 hours straight of content, or would you rather listen to me tell you the entire plot of Twilight, from Twilight through Breaking Dawn, for 8 hours straight? I will be including the short second life of Brie Tanner, and I will be referring to the glossary as well. So, and you might be like, that's a very odd would you rather. And let me tell you where I come up with this from. We've all seen people who like sit and watch all of the movies. That's not special. But growing up, my family and I, we would go to Wisconsin every summer, and it was an 8 hour drive from where we were living to where we were going. And on one of the trips up there, my mom listened to me attentively while she's driving tell her the entire plot, character breakdown of the entire Twilight series. She heard the entire saga without ever having to read a book or see the movies. And I think that my mother is an angel for that, because I don't think there is anyone else on the earth who would do that. I don't even think the person who I marry should have to ever even endure that. If you do, I guess that means you love me, which is like, oh, thank you. So on the topic of Twilight, I'm not sure if you've heard, but Twilight may or may not be becoming a series. And at first I was like, ew, gross, why? And then I was like, wait, I want to know who they are casting. And I was like, before they can even get casting out, I was like, I want to pick who I would cast in all of these Twilight parts. So I didn't do every character. I mostly focused on the most important characters from book 1 and 2-ish. I didn't include the Volturi. If we want to talk about all of the other characters, I can definitely come back with answers. But I wanted to start, and here's the thing, we're getting fancy this week. This might be a shorter episode, but we are getting fancy. If I can figure out how to insert a photo, it'll be like here or here maybe, of the actor that I'm talking about. It's a lot of pressure to cast Edward and Bella, because Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart had genius, tortured performances. You can't tell me I'm wrong. And I thought to myself, how do we find someone who can be as dead-eyed, who can say lines dry, who can make lines fall flat, but in a way where you're not annoyed or you stop paying attention? And then for Edward, I was like, how do we get the looking up from his eyebrows, very sulky? You can tell he's got an inner monologue. Definitely can work the messy hair. Like, did he even brush his hair? So after much thought, and I'm very, very proud of the actors that I came up with. And it was a harsh elimination. Let me tell you, the casting process was not easy. So for Bella, I chose Lily Rose Depp. And I was just like, we have to do an entirely different face structure than Kristen Stewart's. And I need someone who's going to bring different energy, but of the same type of energy, if you understand what I mean. And I think that Lily Rose Depp would be a genius as Bella. It would either be so good or an absolute disaster. And for Edward, I'm confident on this. He would kill it no matter who was playing Bella. But the thing is that Edward can't carry the series. I chose for Edward Felix Mallard. And if you're like, who is that? That's Marcus from the Netflix show Ginny and Georgia. He could bring such a good Edward that isn't Robert Pattinson. Because the thing is if it's not going to be Robert Pattinson, it has to be someone who can pull that weird creep energy while looking beautiful while frowning. And Felix Mallard knows how to do that perfectly. Source material, Ginny and Georgia. I was like, that makes sense. And then I was like, who is going to be Bella's dad? And that was one of the last casting items I chose because in my opinion, Charlie is a reactor. He has to react almost off of every character in Twilight because he's not in the know, which is so messed up. So I thought to myself, I'm going to need an actor who can play a slightly clueless dad who, in the face of realizing that there's information he doesn't have, be strong and a little bit comical. Jake Gyllenhaal brings this kind of dirty hotness, and that's what we need in Charlie. Is you're kind of just like, he's not in the know, but does he care? And what is he doing? And I thought that Lily Rose Depp and Jake Gyllenhaal acting off each other as Bella and Charlie would be awkward and genius. So that's how I chose those two characters. Then it became time to choose the Cullen family members. And this was tough because here's the thing. I'm not sure how they would do an adaptation. I'm not saying we should change how the characters look. We know actors can dye their hair, they can wear a wig, whatever. I chose these actors based on their faces and their acting ability. So for Alice, I chose, and you're going to be like, Molly, you're so obvious. I don't care because it's a smart choice. It's an interesting choice. For Alice, I chose Julia Garner, aka Anna Delvey from the Netflix show. She could do that weird pixie energy that Alice has in such a unique way. Because here's the thing, Alice is not normal, and Julia Garner can definitely play off this energy where there's something clearly off about her, but she's sweet and nice. So having that manipulative energy and being able to bring that is one of the reasons why I chose Julia Garner. I thought she would kill. Plus, I feel like she's the perfect size for that role. Then for Jasper, I chose Nick Robinson from Love, Simon. He played Simon. He needs to grow his hair out. He's done it before. He can do it again. But I thought he should take on this quiet, tortured role because we saw in Love, Simon, he can do inner turmoil so well. He wears it in expressions on his face that are so smart. And that is one of the things that Jasper has the most in the book, is more physical reactions than lines. So him bringing this inner turmoil, this inner fight, he would bring a really great energy to the character that is Jasper. For Rosalie, I chose Sadie Sink. And I feel like I don't need to explain it, so I won't. She's genius, love her, moving on. For Emmett, okay, you're gonna be like, this is a redhead thing, and it's not, but maybe we should leave their hair as is. No, we shouldn't. But okay. For Emmett, I chose KJ Apa because I thought his height and body shape played against Sadie Sink's height was so Rosalie and Emmett. They give me that she is, above it all. She doesn't see what's beneath her. And he's just like kind of following her around. He has his eyes on his girl, and that's about it. I feel like that was a genius pairing. Then I had to cast Carlisle and Esme. And it wasn't easy, but my picks are astronomically good. That's what I have to say. So for Carlisle, I chose Ed Westwick, aka Chuck from Gossip Girl. And you might be like, that is so odd. No, because he will bring this cold energy to the part, but at the same time, he's being nice and helpful and polite. But you're wondering if it's genuine or not, or you're wondering if he's being disingenuous. So I thought that Ed Westwick could really bring the energy of people having to question whether or not this character was really genuine. And playing against Carlisle in the role of Esme, because Esme is someone who, the point of her character is that people feel calm around her, but they also feel like put off by her. They feel like there is something wrong with her. There's something about her that makes them wary to her presence, but at the same time, they are attracted towards her energy. And I thought the perfect person who could play this kind of creepy but so innocent and nice to your face energy is Victoria Pedretti. Is mother. First of all, she is genius. And tell me, she can't bring all of the items I just asked for. She is going to give you that energy of like, there's something off, while at the same time, she's literally serving you cookies that she baked. And it's not because she played love, because she's done other genius acting parts. She is just the perfect choice for this. Then I had to come up with, I'll tell you who my Jacob is last, because that's good. That's good. Then I had to choose my Jessica and Mike. So for the human characters, I wanted to choose people that could play. They totally are just not seeing what the reality is. So for Mike and Jessica, I wanted to choose characters that I felt like they could provide the energy of they live in their own world and they're trying to get Bella to join their world because they are oblivious to the reality that is around them. So for Mike, I chose Mitchell Hoog from the Saved by the Bell reboot because he plays, I will keep hitting on you. I will keep asking you out in, roundabout ways. I'll keep being sweet to you and never get your message that you're not interested until Bella literally has a boyfriend. I thought he would play that energy so well. And then I thought, well, who's going to play Jessica, who is trying to be a friend to Bella, but at the same time is like, I like Mike. What are you doing? And is always going to be hitting on Mike, but then Mike is oblivious. So I wanted someone who could, play that play those gears within that clock. So for Jessica, I chose Catherine Newton. She is in the new Ant-Man movie, Quantumania. And my choice with her is that she could do this energy of, I don't care, but you can tell she really does care and how she delivers lines. And at the same time, her and Mike would look really good together, but Mike is so up in his own world thinking about an entirely other girl that he can't see Jessica, who again is living in her own world. So it's kind of like Bella's caught between these two worlds she does not care about. And I wanted people who could bring this self-centered energy but then still appear to be good friends to Bella at the same time. Then I had to choose James, Victoria, and Laurent because they are when the real movie starts. Like, tell me the best part. Actually, you know what? That's the hard thing about Twilight. I want to be like, the best part is the baseball scene, but I also want to be like, the best part is right before the baseball scene. But at the same time, all of the scenes in that movie are just so people always want to make the joke that if Twilight isn't in that blue tone of film, it would just look like a bunch of theater kids who are about to sing Twilight the musical. Let's start with James, because James needs to be someone who is going to look good shirtless. It can play really evil, unrelenting. And I thought, who could say a lot with their eyes? And my choice was Sebastian Stan, and his audition was Captain America Winter Soldier. That's all I have to say. That is a smart casting choice, and everyone is going to be on the floor dying. This is the equivalent of Julie Plec casting Ian Somerhalder as Damon in The Vampire Diaries. Let me tell you, that is a genius choice I am making. So then for Victoria, and like I said earlier, we are not following, exact descriptions, because first of all of these people are like basically white, and we can't always just be fine with that. So I was very interested because Victoria has been this iconic redhead, and I think she still should be an iconic redhead. But I wanted someone who could bring a viciousness, and someone who you could tell would seek revenge, does a good scream, and my choice was Tati Gabrielle. You know her. She is so beautiful. She gives you this very beautiful, scary vibe. So you look at her and you can tell she is dangerous, but at the same time, she is so beautiful. And that is why I knew that Tati Gabrielle had to be Victoria. That was one of the easier casting choices. So then for Laurent, I needed someone who I knew could play, I'm here along for the ride, I don't want an issue, I'm Switzerland, I'm above this. And I thought of Karan Brar. And if you're like, who is that? Do you remember Ravi from the show Jessie? Yes. Well, now he's an adult. He would be so smart in this role. If you've seen anything new that he's been in, he would bring this energy of, I'm not here to cause a problem, but at the same time, he will follow Victoria because she is beautiful. And I thought he would play that character perfectly. So let's jump into, and I want to be like, let's jump into the most messed up characters in this series. Everyone is so messed up and evil that it doesn't even matter. But I thought, save the best for last. I'm Team Jacob. And my Jacob, y'all are going to be mad, but that's okay. My choice for Renesmee, and you're like, Molly, that's not in the first book. I know, but I thought you might want to hear what my choice would be for Renesmee. I chose Julia Butters. She brings this, I'm unsettling and I'm smarter than you energy. She knows how to play that off very well. If you saw her character, Anna Cat, in the show The American Housewife, it is so good. She plays, I know everything, but at the same time, I also know how to play as a child. It is such a creepy character choice, the way that Renesmee moves, and I feel that Julia Butters would understand that part. So for Jacob, our finale, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I thought for Jacob, we needed someone who understood the character, someone who could bring the energy. And after lots of thought, after lots of auditions, lots of casting meetings, we had to go out and call someone. We didn't cast anyone who showed up for the audition. We had to go out and source our Jacob. And you know who we knew could do the part justice and fill the part? Boo Boo Stewart. Tell me, first of all, that's not hilarious. And by that, I mean, it is hilarious. Like, you can't tell me that is not such a funny choice to cast as Jacob, is to choose Boo Boo Stewart because he was Seth in the movie. When I thought, I had this thought go through my head where I said, people always want to see a character from the original in the adaptation, like the second adaptation. And here, I didn't really know where that would play out or if it even really mattered. But when it came to Jacob, it's like I said, we did a lot of auditions and none of them were the right Jacob. And finally, we called Boo Boo. He said yes. And now we have this legacy. Like, tell me that that is not a step up. I love that. I was like, Molly, you are so smart. So this is why I need to be a casting director. I stand by all of my casting choices. And if anyone chooses to cast the series with all of these exact choices, I will not sue you. I will not charge. This is a totally free casting lineup because it's so smart. I want to see it. You know what I mean? So if you're out there, if you haven't seen Twilight, first of all, watch it for a laugh. Don't watch it for like, oh, like I think this is going to be good. No, watch it for a laugh because that's what then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like this is a good series. Like it's funny because it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that it's funny. Like if you don't see Twilight as a comedy, you are watching it wrong. So keep watching it until it's funny and then we're there. Because we all sat in the theater and watched the character Jacob fall in love with a baby. And everyone's like, well, it's not like that. It's not like that, but it is like that. In all of the flash forwards with Alice, it is like that. I'm not going to do a deep dive into Twilight. I could do 8 hours, but I don't think anyone wants that. I don't even really think my mom wanted that. But if you tuned in today, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And if you're like, I hate Twilight, that's totally okay. Because you know what? I'm going to keep recasting and coming up with different movies. And hopefully maybe one day I'll do a movie that you like. Or if you want to tell me the movie you like, you can just do that as well. Send me a DM, respond on the YouTube page, go to the website. The world is your oyster. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and put on your notifications. The episodes come out every Thursday at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss it. And we have a lot coming up. We have our first special guest. We got a number of interesting episodes, maybe some singing. No, that's a lie. There's absolutely no singing. There's not going to be any singing. And that's not me like faking you out. There really shouldn't be any singing because, if you can't sing on key, don't sing at all. And if you're listening up there, my address is 3333 Northwest Quimby Street, Portland, Oregon.